strategy that could change the outlook of the bullpen, of the rotation, something the Dodgers must do if they want to win back-to-back World Series titles. Also, we got an update on Will Smith's injury. Roki Sasaki expected to be activated today. What does that mean? And will the Dodgers find a way to get something out of Tanner Scott? Is he a bust? Is this the worst signing of the Andrew Friedman era? We'll talk about that next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade. We got it, Parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series.
Ohtani starts the 50-50 clock. Milky Magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the number one Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation, a credentialed member of the media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you're new to the channel, do us a huge favor. Join the party. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers, who are struggling right now, but we've got the fix. Also, join the Discord. The Discord channel is popping. You got thousands of Dodgers fans talking Dodger baseball 24/7, 365. Also, if you haven't yet, go to gearup.la to get the best Dodgers t-shirts in the game. Go to gearup.la. You got the Clayton Kershaw CK3K shirt celebrating his career, his 3,000 strikeouts. Get all the Clayton Kershaw merch. A lot of Ohtani merch over there. Lots of great stuff. Also, a reminder that today's episode of Dodgers Dugout Live is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football season is back, and I'm watching lots of baseball, lots of football, 24/7, 365, and I'm very excited about this week ahead. This week, I've got Carson Wentz getting more than 210.5 passing yards, Jaylen Warren getting more than 57.5 rushing yards, and DK Metcalf getting more than 2.5 receptions. I've been playing Prize Picks almost every day lately, and it's awesome. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Also, don't miss out on this week's mass discount, which has Jalen Hurts at more or less than 0.5 passing yards when the Eagles play the Bucs this weekend. Download the app today and use code NATION to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code NATION to get $50 off on lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link down below is where you go, and you can find it in our description. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Okay, I see the comments firing away. Creed says, don't panic, right? John says, Tanner Scott is the type to eat his torta with green sauce. What does that even mean? Green sauce is kind of bomb. I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty fire. But this is a live show, and we've got producer Robert Rock with us. Emma, she's here today. She's looking for all your fire takes as well. She's looking for your thoughts, comments, and questions about your boys in blue. We'll feature them during the 7th inning stretch. So she's looking for your comment of the show. So is Robert. So we are definitely reading everything that you guys say, and we're going to give out a comment of the show later. So definitely keep firing away. But we've got so much Dodger baseball to get into. So let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that the Dodgers season is continuing to get to a point where you keep waiting for something that you just don't expect to arrive. And that is a Dodgers bullpen that has been one of the worst, most ineffective bullpens in the history of this great franchise. And the Dodgers lose yesterday. They get walked off. It was Tanner Scott's 10th blown save of the season. Yes, if you're keeping score, that does lead all of Major League Baseball. That's not the type of production that you expect for a guy that you signed to a 4-year, $72 million deal, a guy that you made one of the highest paid relievers in the sport. And right now, the Dodgers, they're at 88-69. They're a game and a half above the Padres in the division. You've got 2 more against the Diamondbacks, 3 more against the Mariners. You got 5 games left in the regular season. The Dodgers still have a 91.8% chance of winning the division. But I'm going to say something that it's probably going to surprise you. Last night was a good thing for the Dodgers. Last night was a good thing for the Dodgers because now they have no choice. After what we've seen from Blake Treinen, after what we've seen from Tanner Scott, after what we've seen from Kirby Yates, those 3 guys were the big offseason additions for the bullpen for the Dodgers. Those 3 guys were expected to be monster contributors during the regular season and mostly in the postseason. Those 3 guys are getting paid a combined $42.5 million. How have they produced? Kirby Yates, a 5.23 ERA in his 9 earned runs in his last 10 innings of work. Blake Treinen, a 5.55 ERA in his last 5 appearances. Tanner Scott, a 4.91 ERA and 10 blown saves on the year. All 3 of those guys at this point have just not worked out. And now the Dodgers are in a position where you can say that there's not enough time to get those 3 guys right, to at least trust it. You can't trust that they're going to be right. Dave Roberts, when he goes to the bullpen, everyone said Dave Roberts this, Dave Roberts that. He's juggling ticking time bombs with that bullpen. He's juggling ticking time bombs. It doesn't matter who he picks. One of those ticking time bombs is going to explode and is going to bomb. That is what has happened so far this year for this Dodgers team when you look at this bullpen. Right now, this Dodgers pen, collectively, they have a 4.33 ERA. That would be the 6th worst bullpen in franchise history dating back to 1958. And all those teams in front of them, the 58 Dodgers, the 01 Dodgers that won 58 games, the 2005 Dodgers that struggled incredibly, 71-91, the 99 Dodgers, 77-85. You're talking about all teams that did not have designs of winning the World Series, not teams that felt like they could win the World Series. Those are all teams that were bad teams. And this is a Dodgers team that has $1 billion rotation, $1 billion offense, $1 billion lineup, and a $2 bullpen right now. And yes, there are some exceptions. There's some guys that deserve some consideration. Alex Vesia's had a good year. Jack Dreyer's had a good year. Not a great night. There's other guys that have shown stuff that you feel okay about, like Edgardo Henriquez, and I think Ben Kasparius certainly deserves another chance in this line, in this bullpen, as the guy that can go out there and get righties. But look at this update. Their big trade deadline acquisition. Their big trade deadline acquisition was Brock Stewart. Now, the Twins told you everything you needed to know about Brock Stewart because they traded him in a 1-for-1 deal for James Outman when other big relievers were going for top prospects. Johan Durans, the Mason Millers, even David Bednar and Ryan Helsley, those guys, they were going for better players. Brock Stewart didn't go for much. James Outman wasn't a highly touted prospect. And James Outman is not the game changer that, or a prospect that you build around, right? They essentially gave the Dodgers Brock Stewart. And with the Dodgers, he has a negative 0.1 WAR, a 4.91 ERA in 3 2/3 innings of work. Also, Brock Stewart has never pitched in a season more than 40 innings. And he would have done that this year, but unfortunately he went down again with shoulder inflammation. And they're hoping to get him back. But yesterday before the game, Dave Roberts said, quote, "Brock, we are still day to day. Just kind of a workload, making sure he feels good, just some conversations with Brock, making sure he's put in a position to feel good if he's activated, and there is no guarantee that he will. So we feel that we will have more information. He's going to be playing catch today. So yes, could he be activated? He could, but Dave Roberts said yesterday there's no guarantee that Brock Stewart's even going to be back. So not only did Andrew Friedman not do enough, not only did Andrew Friedman not go out there and spend big on any relievers, well, the guy that he got might not even be available. And look, yep, a lot of those guys went for top prospects, and you want sustainable winning, and you want to trade for guys in the offseason. But now we're at the point where the reason why I think yesterday was a good thing for the Dodgers is now you can't say things like, oh, these are our guys. Oh, they're going to figure things out. Oh, it's the back of the baseball card, right? Look at the back of the baseball card. And that's a metaphor for look what they've done in the past. I don't care what the back of the baseball card says, because what the back of the baseball card doesn't have is what you're going to do for this team this year. And the tone from Dave Roberts was very different after the game yesterday. It wasn't this unwavering belief in his guys. It was, nope, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. Last night was the most frustrated I've heard Dave Roberts all year, and that's because he knows that it's maddening because he doesn't have the options. He doesn't have the pieces that can get the bullpen right, and that's why when we come back, I'm going to tell you what the Dodgers need to do, their last-ditch effort, the only thing that they can do, I think, to salvage their pitching and put them in a position where they can win another World Series. But here was Dave Roberts after the game.
For Tanner, he's been really good as of late. 4 consecutive clean outings tonight. He talked about how he just got behind, the hit batter, the walk, etc. With 5 games left, what do you need to see from him just that shows that he's gotten back on track and also is showing that consistency?
Yeah, tonight I just think that he went way too heavy on the slider. Really didn't provide a threat for a fastball that I feel plays now. And it speaks to the predictability, and he left a slider up to Perdomo, and, we got walked off. You can't hit Vargas, with, the 5th slider, hit him with the back foot. There's a walk in there, and, you just, it's hard enough to pitch, to get guys out without, giving free passes. And he's been pretty good, like you said, the last 4 up until tonight. But again, as we get into this point in the season, everything is more magnified.
Do they become
absorbing these late losses?
It's tough, and after Shohei pitches the way he did, and you have a 4-0 lead, thinking that using higher leverage guys to keep those guys at bay, and we didn't have a good night. And it turns out that the ninth became a leverage inning, but yeah, I mean it's hard to absorb those games, especially games that we need to win right now.
Is there enough time to get these guys right? 5 games left.
We're going to have to find a way. I think, not each individual, but I just think that, these are our guys. I do know that. I just see just careful, the getting behind, the walk-in guys, hit batsmen. That's just a sign of you're either scared or you're pitching too careful. And that's just the way. That's just the facts, and you're not having the conviction in executing pitches for fear of failure or getting hit. And at this time of season, you got to put everything out there and trust that it's going to be good, because when you pitch behind and afraid to make a mistake, hang a breaking ball, that's when bad things happen. And so not each individual guy, but I think, as a whole, that's what I'm seeing. And hitters can smell that.
right there. Hitters can smell that. Dave Roberts, all you guys that criticize Dave, I mean, think about this. Dave Roberts yesterday essentially said that his bullpen pieces were pitching in fear, like they were afraid to be out there. Find me another manager that has said something as bold about their own team this year than what Dave Roberts said about the bullpen yesterday, that they're pitching in fear. Okay? And yeah, Tanner Scott, we broke it down yesterday on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. The fact that you're facing the bottom of the lineup, the fact that it was a situation that you should have been able to come through. Why were 18 of his 21 pitches were sliders? And they weren't great sliders. And the one that Perdomo hit was a 90-mile-per-hour one that was middle in the zone. Why was that? Why didn't that get explained? And Dave Roberts said a little bit about it. It was too slider heavy. That doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. And typically, yes, you don't have as great of a feel for your slider in Arizona because of the air, and you want to go more fastball. That made no sense. And let's just be honest. We'll revisit the Tanner Scott thing, but at this point, he's got to be used bottom of the lineup, low leverage situations against lefties. I don't even think that he really should even be considered for high leverage situations. Closing out games, not even a consideration at this point. If he's going to be on this postseason roster in some capacity, it has to be in a role where it's low leverage, lefties, bottom of the lineup. That's it. He's lost his closing game privileges. He's lost them. You can't do that to a lineup in a team that has Shohei Ohtani. That's managerial malpractice at that point. And then you look at other possibilities. Blake Trinan, same thing. Kirby Yates, same thing. Think about this. The Dodgers this season have had 26 blown saves. The Dodgers have had 26 blown saves this season. If the Dodgers had a better bullpen, even an average bullpen, they would have one of the byes. They would not have to play in the wild card round. If the Dodgers had an elite bullpen, this could be the best team of all time. That is how good the rotation in the lineup is. And yes, some guys were injured and some guys were having down years and guys with the rotation missed significant time at the beginning of the season. All that is true. But the truth is that the reason why the Dodgers will be playing the Mets or the Reds or the Diamondbacks is because of how ineffective and how much of a dumpster fire this bullpen has been this season. 26 blown saves. 26 blown saves this season. They've also had 96 meltdowns this season. That is where you have a reliever that comes in and either blows the lead or does something that really hurts the win probability of that game. So yes, this has been the worst bullpen, the Andrew Friedman era. This has been the 6th worst bullpen in Dodgers franchise history. And yes, right now it's looking like Tanner Scott was a bad signing. And I have defended Tanner Scott. I've talked a lot about how he looked better in his last 4 appearances. But right now, I got to keep it 100 with you. Right now, the Tanner Scott signing looks like something the Dodgers could end up regretting if things don't change. That's nothing personal. He's a great guy. He got his teammates a bunch of suitcases that said "not like us" at the beginning of the season. Those really nice blue rolling suitcases. But he can't handle being a pitcher for the Dodgers, it seems like. He said himself, baseball hates me right now. This is the worst year of his life. Well, here was what Tanner Scott said after the game yesterday.
Well, Tanner, just coming into this one, you did have 4 consecutive really good outings. Things were kind of getting back on track. With the results here in this one, the balls, what do you kind of maybe point to with this outing tonight?
I hit the first guy and walked the second guy. That puts yourself in a pretty tough spot to get out of, and I wasn't executing pitches. I gave up a long fly ball to Jorge, the outfielder, and just put myself in a bad situation. Getting the first 2 guys on with no outs it makes it definitely harder, and wasn't executing.
How difficult is it to make that adjustment, especially in the middle of an outing? In terms of trying to get back in the zone, get the execution right, and especially after the first 2 guys get on.
You're trying not to get anyone else on, and I mean, out there grinding, and just didn't go my way. And I mean, Vest the inning before was huge, and for that to happen sucks. I mean, should have won that game. It's my fault.
The last week of the season here, like, how much confidence do you have that you can kind of get on some kind of roll or find some sort of consistency here in these last couple days?
I mean, tomorrow's a new day, and after today, it's just move on.
Are you one of those guys who just kind of wants to get back out there, turn the page, and a fresh start as you do prepare for what's going to come October?
For sure. I mean, for this to happen, it sucks, and it's got to end tonight, and tomorrow's a new day.
So give him credit. He stood there. He took the questions. You got to give him credit for that. He doesn't want to be bad. He would love to be prime Josh Hader, right? He would love to go out there and be 2024 Tanner Scott or 2023 Tanner Scott. He's the not so great Scott right now. And it hurts. It really does, because this is one of the big reasons why the Dodgers were supposed to be good this year, is that they didn't have to go to market and have to make trades during the season. But I said it yesterday. The thing about bullpen pieces is they're volatile from year to year. You can't expect the same level of consistent performance every single year. If you could, they'd be starting pitchers, right? Bullpen pieces are failed starting pitchers that have found new roles. And this year, Tanner Scott is having a down year. And the issue with doing all of your bullpen shopping in the offseason is that you don't get to see how guys are performing for that particular year. And when you bring in a guy during the year, like a Chris Martin, like the Dodgers did a couple years ago, you bring in a Ryan Brazier turning his season around. I mean, there's been a lot of guys, Michael Kopech last year turning their season around, Anthony Bonda last year, finding guys on the right side of the years. But the truth is, with Tanner Scott, he could be in that category. And you know what category I'm talking about? Talking Andrew Jones. I'm talking Jason Schmidt. I'm talking Dave Goltz. I'm talking Darren Dreifert. I'm talking Brandon League. I'm talking Don Stanhouse. I'm talking Brandon McCarthy. I'm talking Brett Tomko. And those are signings that you regret making. Bust signings. I think that he has a chance to turn around. I think he has the talent to. But my responsibility to you guys is I am not Dodger State TV. I'm the Keep It 100 Dodgers show. And I think that's why this is the number one Dodger show. Right? Because we have honest conversations about this. And right now, you look at the performance for Tanner Scott based on the contract that he signed, and this is a guy that is at a negative, his F-WAR is at negative 0.1. His ERA went from 1.75 last year to 4.91 this year. The FIP has gone from 2.92 last year to 4.76 this year. So I want him to turn around. I believe that he can do it. I still think there's a chance that he can build that confidence back up and help this team. But you heard Oral Hershiser. Oral Hershiser is the most eternal optimist there is. And he even said yesterday that he's throwing meatballs at times, right? Meatballs are good if you're at Buca di Beppo or the Olive Garden, or you're getting a Subway meatball sub. They're not good on a baseball diamond. And even for Oral Hershiser to say that he's throwing some meatballs at times, that tells you everything you need to know, that the frustration has started to build. Okay, so what's the big fix? It seems like a lot of people are watching the show. What did we talk about all last week, right? Piggybacks. That is how you solve this problem. That is what the Dodgers must do. For the Dodgers to win the World Series this year, they have to think out of the box. They have to make radical changes based on their current roster. And you guys know the meme, the dude pointing at his head, right? Right? Hey, the bullpen can't hurt you if you don't use the bullpen. The less you use the bullpen, the less it's going to have a negative impact on a game. Well, how do you not use that bullpen? You do what we've been talking about on this show for weeks, and that is you piggyback your 6 starting pitchers that you have. The Dodgers' biggest strength this year is the fact that they have 6 legitimate starting pitchers, and 4 of which are game 1 quality starting pitchers. Shohei Ohtani was dominant yesterday. Blake Snell's been dominant of late. Yamamoto has been the Dodgers' best pitcher this year. I think he's the second best pitcher in the National League outside of Paul Skeens when he's right. And then you also have Tyler Glasnow. So how the Dodgers could fix this bullpen is not use this bullpen. Just like last year where the bullpen had to get over 60% of the outs, this year I think the Dodgers starters have to get the lion's share of the outs, even as much as 80% of the outs. So what do you do? How do you put it together? I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds a little radical, but the truth of the matter is that I think game 1, you go Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Emmet Sheehan. Game 2, I think you go Shohei Ohtani, Clayton Kershaw. Game 3, Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell. If that's the case. And yes, Blake Snell is someone who deserves game 1 consideration. He's someone that I think could be the most important player during the Phillies series because he's had a lot of success against those players in that lineup. But the truth is, you absolutely need to go with this piggyback strategy. 2 dominant starters per game, covering at least 8 innings per game. And the beautiful thing about all of this is now you don't have your starters necessarily going 6 innings, right? You can stretch them out for the duration of the postseason. And with guys like Yamamoto and Ohtani that need extra rest to be at their very best, and Yamamoto has expressed a willingness to go on 4 days rest. I think Shohei Ohtani's willing to do anything to win. It still optimizes them and puts this team in a position where they can go out there and dominate opposing teams, and you don't need to go to the bullpen. That is the move. It's dramatic. It would be game-changing. It would make the Dodgers look like the smartest organization in all of Major League Baseball, like they already are. Let's be honest. They are that. They're the model franchise. Andrew Friedman's the best in the game. Nothing is changing from that standpoint. The investment was there. It just, look, for everyone criticizing Tanner Scott, show me one person. Show me one person after that signing last year that tweeted Tanner Scott's going to regress, that Tanner Scott was a bad signing. Show me one person that did that. I will wait. It did not exist. So last year, it was about the Dogs. This year, the starting rotation has to be the Wolves because Wolves are bigger than Dogs. They have more stamina than Dogs. If you get a stray dog in your backyard, he might bite you, might attack you, right? You get a wolf, he'll kill you, the neighbor, the poodle. He'll kill both lawn gnomes. Wolves are a different level, right? And now is the time for the Wolves in that starting rotation to put this team on their back and give this team a chance to win another World Series because it's not going to be this bullpen. There's not enough time to put blind faith in Blake Treinen, Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates. Hope is not a strategy. So that's why yesterday, I'm happy that it happened. I actually am. Because hearing Dave Roberts' tone after the game lets me know that he's had enough. I'm assuming the organization has had enough. And right now, there's nowhere else to go but then to your starting rotation. The Dodgers bullpen, they pitched a lot this year. I mean, it's not their fault, right? And unless Dave Roberts is going to go out there and give a Johan Ramirez-like hug and turn Tanner Scott's season around and do the same thing for Kirby Yates and Blake Treinen, then I don't know. And here's the thing, too, about Blake Treinen. Let's not forget, in 2020, he was great. 2021, he gave up that hit to Austin Riley in the 2021 NLCS. So it's not like he's been great every single year in back-to-back postseasons, right? And I look at Clayton Kershaw. He's a big wild card. And you saw Clayton Kershaw yesterday in that Dodgers bullpen. And he told Dave Roberts before the game that, hey, he actually had a meeting with Dave Roberts a couple days ago, and the organization saying, hey, whatever you need from me, I'm willing to do. If that means coming out of the bullpen, I'm happy to do it. And then yesterday, you saw him out of the pen. And sure, Clayton Kershaw's stuff is not very bullpen-ish type stuff. It's not upper 90s, but the guy that he could be piggybacking with would, right? If he's piggybacking with Shohei, imagine those different looks. Imagine going from Shohei Ohtani, right? It's haymaker after haymaker, and then you get Clayton Kershaw, it's jab, 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 death by paper cuts, and you're getting different looks. That's something to consider as well, is the different looks that Clayton Kershaw provides you. But this pen, they're like an iPhone 7 with 8% battery on low power mode, right? And they're on vacation, they can't find a charger, right? The Dodgers rotation, iPhone 17 fully charged with the OtterBox case. Like it is elite. It is elite. Like they are ready to empty the tank, and I think that has to be the move. Absolutely. But all right, guys, coming up next, we will give you an update on Will Smith's injury. We'll do Will Smith's injury, and then we are going to talk about Shohei Ohtani a little more. We'll go to you guys. We got some comments of the show. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network, your front row seat to everything Dodgers all season long. Home of the #1 Dodgers podcast in the world, Dodgers Dugout Live, hosted by me, Doug McKain. Friends call me D-Mac, and we cover everything about your boys in blue, everything you need to know about Dodger baseball in less than an hour. We've got breaking news, post-game breakdowns, roster updates, trade rumors, in-depth player analysis, Dodgers trivia, you name it. Whether it's a wild walk-off at the Ravine, a key call-up from OKC, we've got the insight, we got the coverage, and we're here for you all year long. We're the #1 Dodgers site on every platform, and we're born and based in LA. We're loyal to the soil. Dodger baseball is what we do. Trusted by tens of thousands of daily listeners, Dodgers Nation is more than just recaps. We are LA. Whether you're in Echo Park or out in the Valley, Beverly Hills, whatever it is, if you bleed blue, this pod's for you. The more you guys subscribe, the bigger we can build, and we can do this together. So stay up to date with our Dodgers Nation post-game shows and breakdowns and podcasts. You can listen while you're lifting, while you're in traffic, or while pretending to answer work emails. We won't tell. Subscribe now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your baseball fix. So if you're a new listener or a longtime listener to the podcast, write us a review and we'll read it on the show. Join the conversation, stay ahead of the game, and never miss a pitch with the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. So Roki Sasaki is expected to be activated tonight. We'll see what the corresponding move is. You've got guys with options. You got the Robleskis and the Henriquez's. Do you IL Kirby Yates or something like that? That's also a possibility. But Roki Sasaki is another guy that's going to factor in to this bullpen mix as well. And who knows? Could you see him as a closer? I want to see Sheehan. I want to see Roki. I want to see one of these other guys. Alex Vesey and Jack Dreyer, I think, are part of the mix, as well as Anthony Bonda. But as far as getting those final 3 outs in those situations, I think you have to get creative. That's what this team has done, right? Walker Buehler, final out, 2024 World Series. Julio Urias, final out, 2020 World Series. Oral Hershiser, final out, 1988 World Series. Clayton Kershaw, coming out of the pen, 2016 against the Nationals. Clayton Kershaw against the Brewers. Clayton Kershaw, Game 7, 2017, when Yu Darvish couldn't get it done, goes out there for scoreless innings in that one. He's shown an ability to get it done. So Kershaw is going to be a part of this mix as well. Now, as far as what Dave said yesterday about Roki Sasaki and how his role could look, all Dave said was he's going to be in the pen, don't know what role. I think he's embraced it. He's done a nice job. He went on 2 days rest. His last rehab outing could go on 1 day. So he's all in, and he's going to be here to stay. I truly believe that and I've heard this too, they want him to be a part of that Dodgers bullpen mix because of the high upside stuff, throwing more slider, and that's opened things up so he's less predictable. Got slider, you got forkball, you got fastball. So he's going to be big. So that's going to be massive, and we'll see. Do you have time to give Kyle Hurt an opportunity? Do you have time to go with Will Klein, who I really certainly would just bet on at this point? Why not? What do you have to lose? Now, the update on Will Smith, though, is Will Smith, he spoke to reporters before the game yesterday, and he's continuing to put in work as he's making his way back. He's caught bullpen sessions, and when he catches the ball, he flips it to the coach, and they throw it back to the pitcher. So he's continued to do that, and it's a pain tolerance thing for him. It's a pain tolerance thing for Smith, and it does sound like he's going to be back at some point, especially if it's pain tolerance. Probably not the wild card round, but you'd have to expect that when the NLDS begins, that the hope has to be that Will Smith is on that team because they're going to need it. Now, as far as tonight, when you look at where this Dodgers team is at, they're going against a team in the Arizona Diamondbacks that is really close to increasing their chances of sneaking into the postseason. Like we talked about at the top of the show, the Padres a game and a half behind the Dodgers. The Dodgers do hold that tiebreaker from winning the season series against the Padres. So that 1.5 game is really a 2.5 game lead. But the Padres are going up against the Brewers, who don't have they really have no incentive really to play for that much. You got your playoff spot pretty much locked in. And then you've got they're home against the Diamondbacks for the last 3 games. So the Padres are going to be facing the Diamondbacks, and with the Diamondbacks being the Dodgers on Tuesday, the Diamondbacks are still 1 game out of that final wild card spot. You're right there with the Reds, and you're trying to overtake the Mets for that final postseason spot berth. And if the Mets and the Reds, they both lose and the D-backs win, they would be right in that final spot. So tonight is the Diamondbacks World Series. Tonight means everything to the Diamondbacks. And oh, by the way, if the Dodgers do face the Mets, yesterday the Mets announced that they'd be pushing Nolan McKain up to make his final start of the regular season for today's season finale in Chicago. So they're lining him up to start game 1 of that wild card series that would be at Dodger Stadium on September 30th. The Dodgers tonight will take on Reen Nelson. He's had success, a 3.34 ERA. He gave up just 3 runs in his last 3 outings. Does have a low strikeout rate, not a big punch-out guy. But the Dodgers, they've seen him a couple times this season. Hopefully that familiarity works out. Teoscar Hernandez has gone 4 for 6 against him this year. And Teo had his first triple of the year yesterday. He looked really good. And then you got Blake Snell on the mound for the Dodgers. So tonight, big for the Diamondbacks, big for the Dodgers that still have a magic number of 3 to win their 12th NOS title in the last 13 years. And to start tonight, the number one storyline is Roki Sasaki pitching. If he does pitch today, the soonest he can pitch is today on Wednesday. So I expect him to be out there. They got to go and win a game, but they're so late in the season. He has got to take that final step, check that final box and say, hey, guys, I'm ready to roll. I'm better than what you currently have. So the number one thing is seeing Roki Sasaki tonight. But all right, guys, now it's all about you. Let's get into the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
All right, let's see. So who has a fire take? Who's got a burn that's going to get a finish in? Anything out of pocket, you get a bruh. Comment of the shows. You guys know the rules. Anything that gets a Dodger for life, there we go. All right, so we got Pred 439, 199. What happened to Bobby Miller out of the pen? Yeah, I mean, he just hasn't pitched better than guys like Roki and guys like Kyle Hurt, and Ben Casparius has still pitched well. He would have had to really continue his dominance that he was showing early in that transition. And who knows, an injury here, an injury there, some ineffectiveness, maybe he gets an opportunity, but that could also be more of a next year thing, or let's see how they handle him in the offseason. They consider possibly moving him. I think that he's opened some things up for himself, but right now there's not a lot of talk about Bobby Miller out of the bullpen. Gio Soto 199. What if they use Tanner Scott as an opener? We talked about this on this show. I presented that as an idea last week. And look, opener, closer, middle. I mean, they have to. Is he confident enough to get anyone out in a big game? I mean, last night he melted down in Arizona. What would that look like in Philly, the toughest place to play? What would that look like in Chicago or Milwaukee or New York? I mean, what would it look like for those games? So there's really no reason to use him as an opener because the starters that you have, right? Use an opener because it's, let's get those final, let's cheat and kind of get ahead and get that top of the lineup out. So the guy that comes in doesn't have to face the top of the lineup multiple times or as many times, right? And for this starting pitching group, they are bad dudes, right? And I'm talking about bad meaning good, right? We're talking about 1988 Michael Jackson bad, right? Bad meaning good, right? Not bad meaning bad. and they don't need an opener. They do not, especially one that has not been consistent this year. So I don't think they're going to consider that as much. Chat, tall Ken Chit. I swear my granny can hit a batter, walk the batter in 4 straight pitches for far less than $72 million. Granny got curves too. I digress. Okay. She meant curveballs, Robert, relax. She meant curveballs. He meant curveball. I'll like clarify in the comments, because that's either a comment of the show or that's either a comment of the show or a bruh. Yeah. Right?
That's a bruh, dog. Come on. That's a bruh.
She has curves. She has a repertoire of curveballs. So screenshot that one, maybe Control Z that one. Especially we could Control Z some of these signings, but no, Control Z that one. We'll have that as a contender. That's from Tall Ken Chit. MTV Gen X watcher fan. Rortvet's home run was awesome. You could hear the guys in the dugout calling him Popeye. Cool. There you go. Yeah, he told me that they call him Benny. They call him Ben. They call him Rort. He likes our nicknames, though, that we've given him. The Rortweiler, Benny the Vet Rodriguez. But yeah, I mean, look, we should be talking about Ben Rortvet today. And yeah, I don't think that Ben Rortvet can do Will Smith things or anything like that, but he does make things interesting for the Dodgers in the offseason potentially with Dalton Rushing and what they do with him, right? I mean, he looks really, really good, but I think Dalton Rushing has that batting upside. Lola, $9.99, the Sugar Mama. Tanner Scott does not like sushi. He blew Yoshi's game and Shohei's game. Yeah, he's blown a lot of games. He definitely has blown a lot of games. But yeah, Yoshi, I don't know about you. I love sushi, any kind. 7-Eleven sushi to like 3-star Michelin chef, doesn't matter, right?
I'm not
Sashimi?
a sushi guy. I'm
not a sushi guy.
Nah.
Emma either?
No, me neither. Honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Onigiri. Wow. Uni's my favorite. Uni in Japan. You guys like uni? Man, that's straight fire, man.
Yeah.
But
I like Unami Burger. I like that one.
Okay, there you go. That's a banger, no doubt about it. But thanks a lot, Lola. Appreciate that. As always, we got new foe. He's not an old foe. He's a new foe. I'd rather have Kike on the mound than Tanner Scott. Guys, hurt people, right? And that's what I love about Dodgers fans. And trust me, I am one of you guys. This comes from a positive place. This comes from hey, I love this team so much. It's just the pain hurts. But we got a super chat here. Appreciate that. We got some more. We got to Joel Rodriguez. Scott officially on the IL. All right, come on. That's a little much there. He's definitely not. Mario, what's up? We got Eric. We got Alex. I think he's doing it on purpose. I don't think so. I don't think he is. Nando's back. What up, Nando? I'm gonna give you a bruh. We're worried about you, my man. We got Doug should manage the Dodgers. Yeah, I don't know. I'm good at one thing, and that's talking about people managing the Dodgers, right? I would panic. I would throw Shohei Ohtani like for 15 innings, things like that. It would just be insane. We got who's the girl in the back? Bang bang. That is our friend Emma. All right, Emma, if you could wear one Dodgers jersey, one player's Dodgers jersey for the rest of your life, who do you think you would pick and why?
Ooh, I think I gotta go Freeman. I mean, after the World Series last year, he's been my ride or die, my favorite this year. So I think I gotta go him, and I would rep him the rest of my life.
Not Tanner Scott?
Not Tanner Scott.
Oh, come on. Hey,
Do you want to rep Tanner Scott?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big jersey guy.
That with your Conforto tattoo.
My Conforto tattoo. Yeah. But here's your Freddie Freeman walk-off grand. That's a great pick. That's a great pick. I love that pick, by the way, Emma, because like that, you just see Freddie Freeman and you think of the Grand Slam and like, look at me. Like, I'm in a better mood right now because Freddie Freeman was just brought up because I'm thinking of that walk-off Grand Slam, right? Yeah. So I love that pick. How about you, Rob Dog?
Man, I mean, love me some Mookie. Jackie Robinson's an all-time classic. Don Newcomb.
That Jackie Robinson 42 Mitchell Ness. The Don Newcomb would be a deeper cut, which would be really, really cool. I mean, there's so many bangers, right? But yeah, 42 is the best number there ever was. But all right, guys, let's get back in the comments. Stavy, I stand by what you said last night, D-Mac. I won you on the mound to close us out more than Tanner Scott. Well, come on now. Come on. I mean, we got, I got to be in the clubhouse with these guys, right? You know that, right? We've got some more down below. Bang, bang, relax. Okay, relax. Steve Sapo, I think rushing will be used in a package trade for a closer and a bat. We've got trade him. He is a double agent. $4.99 from Pocket Me. My coworker looks identical to Tanner Scott, and he has a performance evaluation coming up. Oh, wow. That's good stuff. Teo is walking up. We've got Steve. There was a baseball show believing rushing will be traded because of Benny biceps. Like, I think that the Dodgers are always going to look to trade top level prospects if they are in the offseason. And Ben does fit as a backup catcher more than Dawn Rushing. I think for me, I think Dawn Rushing has the potential to be an all-star catcher in this league with his ability to hit. And I think that for him to get to the hitter that he needs to be and has the potential to be, it requires everyday at bats. And that's why I think if you're Dawn Rushing, it's a tough spot because you're playing behind a guy that is an all-star catcher, one of the best in the league, one that signed a 10-year, $140 million extension. I think that Dawn Rushing, the sky is the limit. And yes, he's hitting under 200, but I look at the flashes, the hard contact, and the potential. But who knows? I mean, it certainly puts him in a better position if they do want to add. And you wonder where Dawn Rushing's stock is right now. Did it take a hit or did it get better? I mean, that's for other teams. Someone says, why does Noel look different today, Nando?
Yeah.
I'm going with that.
Crazy.
All right, couple more here. We got with Ohtani yesterday, Snell today, and Yamamoto tomorrow. Is this how our pitching is lined up for the wild card series? $4.99 from Jose Marquez. It could be. I think that with Ohtani, that would put him at a 1 week, right? And yes, that's the difference between Ohtani, Snell, and Yamamoto. Snell, you can go on 4 days rest. He's missed a lot of time. He's feeling really good. He could be game one starter. Ohtani could be game one starter. But my whole issue is this, though. And the reason why I expect to see Yamamoto in game one, Ohtani in game two, is if for whatever reason those games don't go the way that you'd hoped and you get an early exit, I don't think that I could feel good at all about... Yes, baseball is unpredictable. Anything can happen. Losses happen. But to me, if I went into the offseason knowing that you lost in the wild card round and Ohtani didn't pitch one game and Yamamoto didn't pitch one game, I think that's a failure for the organization because Yamamoto's earned it and he's the best pitcher and Ohtani is more dominant than Blake Snell. There's no doubt about that. As far as how things line up, you're still in a good spot if you want to go that route. Ohtani game one, Yamamoto game two. But Yamamoto's also shown a willingness to go on 4 days rest as well. So you could potentially put him in there too. So there's no doubt about that. But I fully expect those two guys to be going in games 1 and 2 in some capacity. I go Yamamoto because he's an absolute assassin killer. He's just dominant beyond belief. I love the guy. I think he's just the ultimate competitor. I go Yamamoto game 1, Shohei in game 2. But hey, Shohei in game 1, I think they could lean that way for sure. I absolutely do. I think they could lean that way. He looked so good yesterday. So good yesterday. All right, so a couple more here. Yamamoto pitching game 1. Adi, what is the overall atmosphere in the clubhouse with the bullpen woes, D-Mac? That's a question I can definitely answer. And I would say that the clubhouse is still strong. These guys aren't dogging each other. I think that they understand it's a long season. And I think they're all ready just to get the postseason going. I mean, these guys are professionals that have won World Series titles, some of them multiple World Series titles. They've got the rings, right? They've got the bling that has their back, right? So I think that mood-wise, there's a lot of support to the bullpen guys that are struggling. I told you a story where Tanner Scott went all the way across the clubhouse to talk to Miguel Rojas, and Miguel Rojas giving him some words of encouragement, even after a strong Tanner Scott appearance. So clearly there's definitely some positivity there, but I trust the top-level talent. Like, I need to see the Dodgers flame out with Shohei Ohtani before I get truly, truly worried and concerned. Like this is the Shohei Ohtani era of Dodger baseball. Clayton Kershaw passed that torch. When Shohei hit that home run in Clayton Kershaw's last start, that was Shohei Ohtani telling Kersh, hey, thank you for everything you've done, Kersh. Thank you for 18 years. You're the GOAT. You're getting us a statue one day, but I got us now. This is my franchise. And I'm taking that torch. And I think both those guys could be a part of one more World Series title together. And I still believe they can for sure. But all right, guys, we are running out of time.
Dodgers.
We are running out of time, so let's get to a Dodgers Did You Know?
It's time for Dodgers Did You Know? A mind-blowing fact about your boys in blue.
So today is September 24th, and that was also the day that was the last day for the Dodgers in Brooklyn. The last day in Brooklyn, it was September 24th, 1957. On this day, back in 1957, the Dodgers played their final game at Emmet Field, and it was sad. There was only 6,702 fans there in attendance. It was a meltdown just because the fans were just so upset that the Dodgers were going out west. And in that day, it was Sandy Koufax pitched, and they end up going to LA, and Emmet Field had just so much history. And look, this franchise's success, even this year, I still think can be traced back to Emmet Field. The Boys of Summer, the Dodgers branding, Jackie Robinson, Pee Wee Reese, Don Newcomb, Roy Campanella, the list goes on and on. I still think that they established the foundation that had an entire Southern California obsessed with them for so many years. It had you listening to Vin Scully out of your car and bringing transistor radios in the stands to listen to Vin Scully like they did. So I still think the Dodgers owe a lot to Emmet Field. They owe a lot to Brooklyn. I don't think you have Shohei Ohtani and Freddie and Kersh and all these guys without what those guys did. And yeah, it was a sad day for Brooklyn, but a happy day in LA. That's for sure. But all right, comment of the show status. Tio says, Emma, can you be my ride or die? I don't know what that.
Hey.
Of course, I got you. Everyone in here is my ride or die.
There you go.
Hey.
Ride or die for the Dodgers fans. Nando 390. D-Mac already got his trip booked for Cancun after the wild card. How dare you say that, Nando? I got my plan. Hey, I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to be on a plane to Toronto. But I'm not going to be Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is going to be on a plane to Toronto. It's going to be for the World Series. Or hopefully it'll be the Astros, because that's who I want. That was my preseason pick. Absolutely, no doubt about it. But all right, guys, comment of the show. Let's give it to my man, the with the grandma, with the curves. With the
Right. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, let's bring that back up. Do we got that still? Or we'll go back.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. That's right. This is the comment of the show today. Goes from Tall Ken Chit. I swear my granny can hit a batter, walk the batter in 4 straight pitches for less than $72 million. Granny got curves too. I digress. Of course, he means his grandma can throw a great curveball. I wonder what the spin rate is. I wonder, but I mean,
How do you know he means
can she do the splits too? Like no, can she throw a splitter? That's Can she throw a splitter? What's her? I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Obviously, but all right, guys. Thanks for joining us here for Dodgers Dugout Live. We appreciate you guys as always, and join us after tonight's game for the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Special thanks to producer Robert, Emma, rock with us, all you guys down below in the comments. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit that like button on your way out. And remember, most importantly, that nothing, absolutely nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.